What's up, traders? This is Vee Trades, and today I'll be doing a technical analysis breakdown for PayPal with the ticker symbol PYPL. The last time I looked at this company was back on August 22nd. Please read the description below if you'd like to see the services I provide. Before we begin, please take a second to give the video a like and subscribe for more chart analysis. I appreciate all those who already subscribed and like my videos. It does mean a lot. Just a reminder that this video is for entertainment purposes only, does not constitute any financial advice. We will start out the technical analysis by going over what I see in the daily chart and potential price targets. Then we will take a quick look on the weekly chart to wrap it all up. So the first thing that I'm going to do is put a vertical line on where I left off for this company, which is back on the 22nd, but I'll be using the 20th because it looks like the market opened on the 23rd. So in my prior analysis, I watched the video and I said that we had this spike in channel down, but I just wasn't sure if prices were in this little downtrend right here, or if prices were inside of a range. So it looks like prices were actually following the range rules, so it was just hard to tell. Prices were subjective because both of them were playing out, but this one actually was the one that prices followed. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete this channel because it's no longer in play and keep the range there. So when we have a range, prices move from the highs to the lows and the lows to the highs. But since we had this breakout here on the lower side, prices failed and came back inside of the range, found support, and had a breakout on the opposite side. So that's what happens if we have a breakout on the side of a range. And it made sense because prices wanted to come back to fill in this gap. They don't like to leave gaps unfilled. So what could happen from now is that we either go back up all the way to the highs of this larger range again to test it, because maybe they want to test it again to see if we find some resistance. Let me put this right there. Or what we can do is, let me change this color real quick. So we can either go back all the way up to the highs of the range. Let's make it yellow. Up around here, around that $300 level, 306 level. Or we could just fill in this gap just a little bit and then continue lower to make that second leg. Or we could just start trending lower from now. So if we were to start trending lower from now, since we had that two legs up, I'm going to show you guys right now. So we had that first leg up, and if I just move it over, this is pretty much the second leg, and that's where prices started to move sideways. So that makes a lot of sense. And if we were to continue lower from there, and if that was the top of the correction or the pullback, then the next target that PayPal could reach could be the 249 level. That's only if we don't start trending higher from now. Because if we start trending from higher now, then obviously you would have to move this arrow higher and higher, right? Because prices are moving up. But even then, we might just not even make that second leg down, because it seems like maybe prices are more bullish than bearish. Maybe he wants to go back all the way up to that 306 level to test this resistance level again to see if prices get rejected or not. I do want to show you guys the uptrend that prices were previously in, and this is the one right here. Let me go ahead and place it on the chart. So prices were inside of this uptrend, and then what happened was we had that break outside on July 19th, which made a new high. So that's pretty much what we expect to see after a channel breakout. Prices just pulled back to the EMA after coming short on the upper side. It led to a break and then a move to a new high, and that was also a double test of that previous high. So that's pretty much a triple top, and then there was a large sell-off, and by that large sell-off being made, there was a gap created. So since we had that gap, prices were in this spike down, and then we had that break outside and it moved to a new low. So then prices reversed. So it looks like it probably wants to fill in this gap completely right around that 296 level. So we could go up like this and then a little bit more and then continue lower, or we could just make another channel, something like this, and then just start trending up slowly back up to the highs. We just gotta wait and see, but I'm a little wary of us continuing higher just because we already had two legs up, and this doesn't really look like a channel to me. Even if I put in the parallel lines, it doesn't really fit the price action that well, so I don't think we're inside of a channel. What we could be inside of obviously is this bigger range that I just showed you guys, but let me just delete these lines so I can draw a trend line. So it looks like we could have a potential high already for this move up and a reversal coming soon, because if I make this trend line and if I were to clone it and copy to the other side, it would fit these bars nicely, and then that would mean we had to break outside and move to a new high. So that's what we could expect over here. Same thing, like a reversal back down. So we could see this second leg coming in the next few days or the weeks. We just gotta wait and see. But for right now, it looks like we could fill in this gap before continuing lower, but if we don't continue lower, we're probably going to come back to retest these highs. So let's go ahead and take a look at the weekly chart now. So the weekly chart looks pretty bullish, because I see this spike in channel. So this was the spike up, and then prices went inside of a flatter channel. So you can see the EMA's angle is less steep. So if I just copy that channel line there, so as you can see here, this is pretty much the spike up and then a channel. Let me go ahead and change the color of the channel against the spike. So we had that spike up and then a flatter channel, and this fits really nicely. So it looks like we're right on that support side. That's why prices couldn't really break through it. Let me just zoom in a little bit. So right around here is the support side of the channel, and that's where we expect prices to bounce, but we went sideways right around here for a couple of weeks. So that's not a good sign for the longs. Normally you want to see rejection. Every time we come up to the lower side of this channel, we want to see rejection. We don't want to see this. I mean, that doesn't mean we can not continue higher, but what will happen is, looks like we just had that breakout and the price came right back inside of that little range. So the same thing could happen here, but a miniature version. It could be just a repeat pattern, and repeat patterns happen a lot. So we had that sell off down, and we had that sell off down. Prices went sideways on the lower side of the channel and then had that breakout and then came right back inside of it. So we could do something like this. However, I think maybe this time we'll probably get a break outside, just because prices aren't going to be inside this channel forever, right? Sooner or later we are going to see a breakout, something right around here, and especially since it looks like PayPal could be inside of a range. It looks like it could be starting a range pattern, so that could be the highs of the range and these could be lows of the range. So it looks like we could come back all the way to the lows of the range, but then continue higher to make a retest of these highs or even a new one. But we've got to wait and see. I mean, from now we could just bounce off of this thing and just continue to trend higher, kind of making equal highs except higher lows, and come closer and closer to this trend, kind of like this triangle pattern, something like this, where we have prices trending up, getting rejected from the higher side, except we find support on the lower side. That's what it looks like PayPal could be doing. And then right around here we could have a breakout to either way. Just gotta wait and see. But on the daily chart, it looks like we could pull back just a little bit more and then continue lower. But on the weekly chart, we could just continue to trend higher, maybe back up to these highs actually. But sooner or later we are going to see a breakout of this channel, because we're not going to keep on bouncing against the lower side of this channel forever. I mean, sooner or later we're going to have that breakout. But even if we do have the breakout, I mean, we're still going to go up to retest the highs. That happens about 90% of the time. So probably bearish in the short term, but bullish in the long term. So thank you for stopping by and checking out my video. Make sure to check out the rest of the channel, since you might be surprised on what you can learn. Leave a comment down below on where you think prices are headed. Also share the video if you want your friends to learn about the markets. Lastly, I appreciate any feedback to help improve the channel, since we want to deliver great content to you guys. See you next time, and bye.